Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a drama film, Skins. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. This movie presents various circumstances of how several characters with deformities struggle with their conditions as they deal with the cruel reality and try to live a normal life. The film begins its dark and bizarre narrative with a pedophile named Simon in a brothel. He speaks with the hospital staff and discovers his wife has given birth to his son. Simon weeps in shame as he faces the naked elder woman who convinces him to stay instead of going to his wife, since he might soon harm his son under his current condition. She then shows him some albums and encourages him to choose among the young girls, and he chooses the one with the physical deficiency. The next day, Simon returns to the brothel and waits in the room while holding a little gift. The naked elder woman brings in the 11-year-old girl named Laura. She then unties her ribbon, revealing her face with no eyes, and sings to Simon. Then the naked elder woman assists them in the room. After satisfying his libido, Simon gets his gift, a pair of pink diamond buttons she can use as her eyes. Laura cannot see them, but it makes her feel delighted. A few years later, the scene shows Samantha, another lady with a physical deficiency, whose anus and mouth are interchanged, and her smelly anus is in her mouth area. She confidently takes a photo and posts it on Instagram. Then, she goes to a cafe with her face exposed. The fat cafe owner cruelly laughs at her as she takes her order, but she ignores it. While waiting for her order, Samantha checks her phone and gets notified that Instagram took down her post, as it was considered inappropriate. She then gets her journal notebook with pictures showing how she desires a normal mouth. Then, she takes the funnel and hose from her bag, which she uses to eat. After the cafe owner serves the soup, she puts the hose to her mouth, which is located in her anus, then pours the soup. After that, Samantha gets to her car, but the two boys await her. The boy gets her bag and inspects her belongings. They try to harass her, but she manages to escape by kicking the boy, then drives anxiously. Accidentally, she runs over something, so she stops for a moment in shock. Then, the scene shows the fat cafe owner in the brothel, employed by people with deficiencies. She is revealed to be one of Laura's insecure clients. The brothel staff, who is a little woman, assists her. Meanwhile, Laura has shown a premonition as she experiences a nightmare about missing her precious diamond eyes. She freaks out as she wakes up, immediately checks her diamonds, and calms down that they are on the table. Then, the scene shifts to Ernesto, who is giving himself a hormone let-go hand while looking at the photo of his girlfriend, Anna, who has a large tumor on her face. Suddenly, his mom shockingly enters the room and freaks his hormones out. His mom feels disappointed, as it's considered a disgrace in their religion, so she kicks Ernesto out of the house. Then, Ernesto plans to contact Anna, who is apparently having an affair with a man with a burned face. She does not respond, as she is busy doing business with another man. Meanwhile, we see a purple-haired teenage boy sitting in a wheelchair, despite having functioning legs. He looks at his father's picture, then slits his legs. The teenage boy's mom speaks with a therapist, who explains that he suffers from body integrity identity disorder. The therapist asks the mother to let him in, and then the mom scolds his son as they enter. Then, the therapist talks to the teenage boy. The teenage boy explains that he does not want his legs, and that mermaids are happy without them, so he desires to be one. As the therapist asks him about his father, his mom freaks out when he admits he wants to see him. The only thing he knows about his father is that he has a mermaid tattoo, which makes him obsessed with it. His mom forces him to get up and gets shocked to see his self-harm scars as she pulls his pants down. To his annoyance and shame, he runs off. Due to his desperation, he comes up with an idea to get rid of his legs. So he lies down and puts his legs on the road to let a car run over them. As it turns out, the vehicle is driven by Samantha, who is getting away after being harassed. Then he satisfyingly smiles at her as he achieves his goal of damaging his legs. After that, Samantha gets home and immediately runs into her room. Samantha's father is worried that she did not cover her face and tells her to be careful when going out. Subsequently, we see Vanessa, who has a short stature, working as a child's beloved teddy bear mascot in a TV show. Due to her pregnancy, she tries to quit her job, but her manager declines, saying they need the money and people love her. Disappointingly, Vanessa knows people only love the mascot and not her. Meanwhile, the fat cafe owner receives a notice about her debt, which she needs to pay immediately. Because of that, she goes back to the brothel to target Laura's diamonds. In the room, the cafe owner requests Laura to take her diamonds off, but she refuses as she cannot work without them. But as the cafe owner is about to leave, Laura agrees to remove them and puts them on the table, afraid she will lose a client. Then, the cafe owner gives her a hand, while carefully stealing her diamonds. Suddenly, someone enters the room, and to her surprise, she accidentally swallows the diamonds. After that, Laura freaks out as she finds her diamonds missing, while the cafe owner struggles in the bathroom as she tries various ways to get them out of her smelly shit. Meanwhile, the day of the accident turns out to be Samantha's birthday. Her father prepares her a cake, and they celebrate at home. Then, the news shows that a teenage boy run over by a car has just died, and Samantha's father despises the person responsible for it, making her feel guilty. He gives his present to Samantha, a unicorn mask to cover and protect herself. He expects it will make her happy, then asks her to try it on and takes a picture. Samantha cries in disappointment for his father's insensitivity. Subsequently, in the teenage boy's wake, Simon shows up, which shocks the boy's mother. Apparently, he is the father the boy had longed for, so the mother confronts Simon as she still feels hurt and angry at him for abandoning them. Then, she shows him the mermaid tail the teenage boy has sewed. He then tells her he knows their son's desire, as he has been checking him on Facebook. She feels disappointed and brokenhearted that he is not even looking for her on social media. Desperately, the mother asks Simon why he had left them, so he explains that he might harm their son because he is sick, without mentioning that he gets sexually attracted to children and might sexually abuse their son. Later, Simon checks his son's bag and sees his picture, where he shows off his mermaid tattoo and cries from guilt. Meanwhile, Anna and Ernesto are having dinner. She gets irritated by whatever Ernesto is doing. He tells her he talks about her to his mom, but unfortunately, his later mom gets disappointed to know the kind of girl he likes. After Ernesto tells her how she wants a woman like her, Anna gets offended and disappointed. After that, Anna receives a call from her other man, which Ernesto notices. She then admits she's with someone else and breaks up with him. So Ernesto weeps as he reveals that his mom kicked him out, and he's thinking of staying with her since he is left with nothing. Instead of extending her sympathy, Anna disappointingly gets her wallet and hands him some cash. Despite feeling ashamed, Ernesto woefully takes the money and leaves. Then, we see Laura's situation again. Laura is compelled to calm down and sorrowfully goes to the room where her client is waiting. At the same time, the cafe owner tries her best to release the diamonds from her anus, and successfully, she manages to let them out. Meanwhile, Samantha walks on the street and bumps again into her two harassers. They drag her into the alleyway and sexually assault her. One of her harassers forces his birdie inside, unknowingly that Samantha's mouth is in her anal area and guarded with teeth. So Samantha defends herself by biting the man's smelly sausage. The scene then shifts to the burned man, who notices Anna's phone ringing as Ernesto still tries to contact her. He gets upset, so they argue as he gets jealous of Ernesto. He refuses to eat what Anna cooked, bad-mouths it, and walks out. Simultaneously, Vanessa's manager annoyingly visits her. He brings the briefcase full of money for her talent fee to persuade her to return to work. But Vanessa is determined and keeps declining the offer, which infuriates her manager. Vanessa explains that she is pregnant and cries that her son will have the same condition as hers. However, her manager does not care. He gets furious and becomes violent, as he is after the money he will get from her performance. So Vanessa throws the briefcase from the window. Right then, the burned man sees the briefcase drop to the ground and notices some cash, followed by Vanessa's manager, who jumps off to get the money and dies instantly. The burned man takes the opportunity and gets the briefcase. Then, he discusses it with Anna, who argues that he must return the money, but he insists he needs it more to get what he has always wanted, an operation to fix his face. Anna disagrees as she assumes he will leave her after getting her face fixed. However, the burned man is persistent, so she gets disappointed and feels betrayed as she chooses him over Ernesto, thinking having the same condition makes them perfect for each other. Meanwhile, after she manages to escape from her harassers, Samantha stops by the bridge. She plans to end her life after the cruel treatment she has been experiencing from people around her. As she is about to jump off the bridge and get into a train wreck, she suddenly passes out. At the same time, Ernesto is standing on the bridge, feeling miserable and brokenhearted. He is also about to jump off the bridge, when suddenly he gets interrupted as Samantha's phone rings. Just then, he notices Samantha lying on the ground, unconscious, so he goes to pick up the phone. Ernesto immediately gets attracted to Samantha, who also has a physical deficiency like Anna. Later, the cafe owner conscientiously returns to the brothel and meets Laura. She introduces herself to Laura as she plans to give back her diamond eyes, but Laura has already assumed she took them and is not upset about it. The cafe owner tries to return them, but Laura insists she takes them instead, as she can sense that she needs money and understands her financial predicament. but the cafe owner feels shy and hesitant, so Laura asks to touch her in exchange, as she has never touched anyone and wants to experience the feeling. Moments later, the cafe owner feels good while Laura touches her melons and admits she has spent her money on her, as she feels insecure that no one will like her. After Laura touches her, she thanks her and leaves. Meanwhile, Samantha gets shocked to hear the news that the accident she was involved in was actually a suicide, where the teenage boy's mental disorder led him to want to remove his legs intentionally, which clears her from feeling guilty. Then one morning, the burned man wakes up without Anna beside him. Anna jogs around the neighborhood after leaving her lover a letter that tells him he can do whatever makes him feel happy as she ends their relationship. Anna finally realizes that no one will love and accept her physical flaws genuinely but herself. So she decides to focus on herself and be happy without depending on other people. In the last scenes, they all have their own happy endings. The cafe owner returns to the brothel and tongue massages Laura as she falls for her. They soon develop their romantic hormone ship and her cafe recovers. The burned man gladly proceeds with his operation in the same hospital, where Vanessa finally gives birth to her child. Meanwhile, Samantha and Ernesto end up together. They happily leave in a wooden cabin, and he unhesitantly kisses the smelly anus on her face, but luckily without using his tongue. The film ends by showing that despite the purple-haired teenage boy's tragic fate, he also successfully achieves his dream of having a fishtail. Even if it is in the afterlife, he manages to live like a mermaid underwater. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.